Hey y'all, so we're going to pick back up where we left off yesterday, and I want to talk about the table for just a few minutes. So if we think about a table, things that we know about a table, what happens at a table? Well, we know that we eat at a table. And what happens when we eat at a table? Well, there's provision, it's nourishment, there is some kind of order, although sometimes we may think that there's really a lack of order. But there is some kind of semblance of order. What else? Let's see. There is fellowship. There is conversation, communion, building relationship. There is discussion. Help is offered. Counsel is given. What else? And if you have thoughts on this, you can put them in the comments because I am interested in things that happen at the table. This word here in the Hebrew, of course, it is a table. But the interesting, I really, really like this. The thing that it said in my lexicon was that this particular table was for private use. This is, I'm going to get mine, you get yours. You're not going to have my table, I don't want your table. You get yours, I'm going to get mine. That it's for private use. And there are so many different directions that I would like to go in with this, the table that he prepares. So it is his provision, this table that is set and arranged for us. And doesn't that tie into where we left off yesterday, in that if we have to go there, there's provision already made available, that he has already gone before us. He's already set it up or arranged it or orchestrated it, as that quote from Joseph Prince said, right happenings are dependent on the Lord's orchestration, that those things are dependent upon him setting it up. That table is dependent upon him establishing it. Our provision is based on him going before us. And for private use, again, nobody's going to get mine, I'm going to get my own. And it's our relationship with him. I don't need somebody else to make a reservation for me to have dinner with the Father. Does that make sense? I don't need my husband to introduce me to him. Jesus has done that. He's bridged the gap. We are now back in right standing with the Father, and it's personal. It's private. I don't have to have anybody else involved for me to have a relationship with the Father other than Jesus. Jesus is baseline. But there's not another person that I have to have there. It's private. It's just between me and him. And see, what he has for me, he doesn't have for anybody else. And that's the same way with you. What he has for you, he doesn't have for anybody else. And you don't have to share it with anybody else. So things that I wrote down about this table, this private table with me and God, is that it's fellowship with him. That when he and I, or when this table is prepared for me, it is fellowship with him. And then you think about all the things that come from fellowship with the Father: restoration, strength, renewal, insight, just glory made manifest. We have fellowship with him. It's refreshment. And going back to the direct access, I have my notes here, and because I don't want to miss any of these points from the Father, but we have direct access to him, and that ties into what we talked about last week on Friday in the rod and staff comforting me, bringing comfort and consolation, alleviating the grief of walking here, making it bearable, and how Jesus made it bearable because he bridged the gap, and now we have relationship with the Father again. And so it's direct access from that comfort and consolation that Jesus has restored us. And so we can sit at the table with the Father and gather from him, take from him, be refreshed with his provision. And so I do want to look at 2 Corinthians 8, no, this is 9, verse 8. And it says, "And God is able to make all grace, every favor and earthly blessing come to you in abundance, so that you may always and under all circumstances and whatever the need be self-sufficient, possessing enough to require no aid or support, and furnished in abundance for every good work and charitable donation. That God is able to make all grace and every favor and earthly blessing come to you in abundance, so that you may always and under all circumstances have what you need. That is the table of provision. And I'll pick up here tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye, y'all.